Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back to another video. This time we're going to be talking about Nicolas Cage, 5 underrated, underappreciated movies. So this isn't necessarily going to be like a top 5 Nicolas Cage movies video, but just 5 movies that I think either are underrated in terms of like critically or just what my general opinion, what I get the audience, how do I say this? What I hear from the audience, like movies that they don't like, basically. Said that horribly, but you get what I mean. Or just movies that I feel like just don't get talked about enough that are actually quite good. So yeah, first up we have an honorable mention, and that is the Humanity Bureau. Now, I don't think this movie is very good, which is why I wouldn't even call it an honorable mention, just a movie I wanted to talk about. That this movie had I see a lot of potential in this movie. The budget really hinders it. I feel like if this would have had a bigger budget, maybe a little bit better script, better directing. I mean, you can say that about every movie, but you know what I mean. Like I feel like the bones is here for a really good movie. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring it up because I don't think I'll ever be able to talk about this movie. So yeah, the very very good like structure and bones, and the script wasn't terrible. Just tweak the script a little bit better, a little bit bigger budget, or just used better. I don't know. And I think you did have yourself a really great movie here. So yeah, just wanted to talk about that. So my first underrated movie for Nicolas Cage is Outcast with Hayden Christensen and Nicolas Cage. I guess this is also be an underrated Hayden Christensen movie, although this is like the only movie I've ever seen him in besides Star Wars. So, because I haven't seen Jumper and I don't really know if he's in anything else. Oh, I think he's in that Vanishing on 7th Street movie. I have that on DVD. Have not watched it yet. Anywho, getting off topic, which if you watch any of my videos, always happens. But yeah, Outcast. So Nicolas Cage, he's on the cover as one of the stars. He's not in the movie a ton, but he's in it enough to where I feel like I can put it on this list. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, he's not in it a ton. Just know that going in. But I don't know. I really quite enjoyed this movie. Kind of like I don't know what you call it, more like an action adventure set in like medieval times, or I don't even know if it's really medieval, but like like in I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but like I want to say China. One of those places. I'm probably gonna get crucified for not knowing exactly what country, but it's been like a year or two since I've seen it, so I don't remember all the plot details exactly. But I just remember this being like a fun movie. I mean, it's not like an Oscar winner or anything, but it's like a solid probably give it like a solid 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10 maybe. But I just remember it getting shit on completely when it came out. It is not that bad. It's actually just a pretty fun movie. So yeah, Outcast. Next up, we have Seeking Justice. This is another underrated. I mean, obviously they're all underrated, but so this is another underrated movie from Nicolas Cage. When did this come out? 2012 or 2011? I can't tell. Yeah. So I seen this a while ago. It's probably been at least 3, maybe 4 years since I've seen this. So this is another one I don't remember a ton about. But I was just going through all my Nicolas Cage movies on my shelf, and this one kind of stood out. I remember really enjoying it, although I don't remember too much about the plot. But I remember it being quite good. So definitely Seeking Justice. And I never really hear anyone talk about it. And when I do, I don't really hear that many great things about it. But I remember quite enjoying it when I first seen it. So that's one I'll definitely have to rewatch. So yeah, so these next 3 I definitely can talk a little bit more about because I've seen all these multiple times. The first one is, now I have this on this list. A lot of people are probably going to say, oh hey, I love that movie. Why is that on your underrated list? Everyone loves that movie. I kind of thought that too. Or maybe you don't like this movie at all. I don't know. But this is probably one that most of you will probably have seen, which is Gone in 60 Seconds. Now, this is not a perfect movie by any means. I love this movie. I grew up on this movie though, so there's a little bit of nostalgia glasses. But I did just watch this again recently. Well, like a year ago. And it really holds up. This is brand new because I watched it was on like streaming or whatever. I just kind of put it on for whatever, and I was like, wow, I still really enjoyed this movie. This is one of those movies as a kid I always just waited for the last like 20 minutes when he's driving the Mustang or whatever. That might be the last 30 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't know. But the rest of the movie is actually pretty good. It's like a pretty good I don't know if you call it action adventure, or like maybe I want to say like I'd say like what is it under? It doesn't even say on here, does it? I don't even know what genre that you call this. Yeah, like action adventure. I want to say thriller. It's not really a thriller. Just kind of like a fun movie. Angelina Jolie's in here as well. Robert Duvall, Giovanni Ribisi. who I've been seeing in more stuff recently, which is cool because I think he's quite good in this. I don't know, just a fun car movie. It's a little like when did this come out? 2000. Like you can really tell its age and like the time period it came out in, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. And I know it is a remake of the original. I've never seen the original, but I quite enjoy this movie. I feel like it gets a little bit too much hate because I hear a lot of people just kind of hating on it for I don't know like I don't think it's perfect, but it's definitely well above average to me. So I'm calling in 60 seconds. And then next up we have Knowing. So this is actually one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies. Period. Like this is probably like he has a lot of movies. It's definitely top 10. It might crack into my top 5. I'm not sure. I love this movie. It's directed by what's his face, Roland Emmerich. Is this directed by Roland Emmerich? No, directed by Alex Proyas. Why did I think Roland Emmerich? Anywho, Alex Proyas. He did something else. I'm blanking. I'm not gonna get into that. Anyways, I think this movie is really good. It looks damn good on 4K too, even though I believe it was probably shot in 2K. I'm not, or upscaled from 2K. I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, Knowing. I've seen this movie a lot. I enjoy it every time. It's got like he doesn't really do any horror movies. Well, he did Pay the Ghost. I think that's the only other horror movie. But like a lot of this movie kind of has horror undertones, especially at the beginning and some other scenes later in the movie. Obviously, I don't want to spoil anything, but even though I kind of spoiled it on 60 seconds, but I'm sure most of you have seen that. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like a disaster movie, but it's more of a drama than like an action take on a disaster movie, which I kind of like. It's more of like a thriller, suspense, drama version of a disaster movie, which I really like. Nicolas Cage, I think, is pretty good in it. It's also got Ben Mendelsohn, who I love. The kid's actually pretty decent. And I don't want to give too much away about the ending, but when I first seen it, I didn't really see that ending coming. Then again, I watched it. I think I watched it when it came out. So I would have been quite younger. I would have been, I don't know, like early teens maybe. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to talk too much about the plot. But yeah, Knowing, if you have not seen this, at least go. If you have no interest, at least go watch a trailer. Maybe it'll get you interested. I believe this is on some streaming platforms. I'm not sure. So if you I think it's on. It might be on HBO Max. I'm not 100% sure. It's on something I know, or it could be on one of the free ones. I'm not even sure. But yeah, but this is always pretty cheap. Even on DVD or Blu-ray. I know the 4K is probably like $15-20, but yeah, Knowing. Can't say enough good things about that movie. The next up we have Next. So this is the final one I have in this list for underrated Nicolas Cage movies. Now, is this in my top 10 Nicolas Cage movies? Probably not. But the ratio of people, like basically the ratio of the reviews it got to how much I like it is like a wide margin, so that's why it's on this list. Because this got kind of destroyed in the reviews, and like I never hear anyone say anything good about it. I don't know anyone who likes this movie. I don't know. I quite enjoyed it. I mean, like again, this is another like probably like 7.5 out of 10 movie, but you know, like a fun movie to watch. You know, like so like you know, I'd rather watch a 7.5 really fun movie than like sometimes than like a 9 out of 10, but like really hard drama that's you know not rewatchable really. This is like a really nice rewatchable movie. The only thing I can say, negative thing I can say, which I didn't really talk about any negatives of the other ones, which there are negatives, but I kind of just forgot to talk about this. But negative, I would say the ending is a bit of a letdown. Every time I watch this movie, I get really into it, and then the ending is, I feel like, I don't want to spoil anything. I'll just say I feel like the movie's kind of heading upwards, and then the ending kind of just happens, and then the movie's over, and I'm like, what? I thought there was like 15 minutes left, but the movie just ends. Because it kind of feels like there should be another like 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes on the end of this to wrap things up, but there isn't. So yeah, so that is my final underrated Nicolas Cage movie. Next. So yeah, let me know what your underrated Nicolas Cage movies are. If you want me to do a part 2 of this, I will. I'm probably gonna go through my DVDs. There's also a few more Blu-rays for some underrated Nicolas Cage movies, but I'll definitely go through my DVDs because I got quite a few Nicolas Cage movies on DVD. Quite a few underrated ones too. I'll probably put some of his older ones in there too because I know this is mostly his newer ones. But yeah, so yeah, Nicolas Cage. Here, I'll do this for the thumbnail. Anywho, I'm wasting your time with the thumbnail. Sorry. Anywho, yeah, that's the video. Let me know what you guys thought. Thank you guys for watching.